Have you ever seen a LinkedIn profile that says Scrum Master in the headline, but then in the rest of it, there's very little in the way of experience or skills that have to do with Scrum Mastering? I have, and I don't hire them. So don't be one of those people. Be kind to your LinkedIn profile and increase your job prospects by translating your current skills into Scrum Master language. So the purpose of this sprint is to show you a list of LinkedIn-friendly Scrum Master skills that you likely already have so you can add them to your LinkedIn profile. I'm also going to give you an explanation of how and why each skill is important for Scrum Mastering to help you prepare for the interview. So let's get started. The first skill is leading and facilitating change. Scrum Masters need this because, first off, your team might be new to Scrum and you need to facilitate the changeover from traditional ways of working to agile ways of working. The second reason you need this is that by definition, a Scrum Master is a natural leader, and leaders are the architects of change. Rapid decision-making is the second Scrum Master skill that's important because often in the heat of the moment, you don't have a lot of time to decide which direction to go. Of course, in the spirit of the Scrum value of collaboration, it's not all up to you, but you do need to prepare yourself for very fast-paced environments that demand quick decisions. The next skill is soft skills. I've met people who think this is a sort of general thing that means they're good with people. It's not. It's actually a set of discrete, nuanced skills like powerful questions, active listening, negotiation, and your ability to manage conflict, which is a normal thing that happens in groups. The next skill is emotional intelligence. This is related to soft skills, but different in that it's about your ability to sense and manage your own emotions, the emotions of another person, and the emotions of a group, so 3 levels. Think your Scrum team or unhappy customers, and you've got it. Next is empathy, which is related to soft skills and emotional intelligence. It refers to your ability to feel with someone else in the sense of being able to put yourself in their shoes. Likely, you know how to do this in life already. Just practice or imagine putting yourself in the shoes of the product owner, the team, or the customer, and you'll be way ahead. Next is collaboration. I like thinking of collaboration as a skill because, well, it is. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, nobody taught collaboration. It was about the individual and doing your individual best. But judging by my daughter's education, schools and universities now see collaboration as a core skill. You need to see it that way as well to be a good Scrum Master. The next skill, and one that you'll typically use every day, is group facilitation. But you might wonder, who would I facilitate and why every day? Typically, as a Scrum Master, you're going to facilitate conversations in your team, like the daily stand-up. Facilitation is actually one of the more important skills as a Scrum Master, in my opinion, because you use it so frequently, and because often people that need to talk to each other don't have the ability to talk to each other. That's where you come in. Your next Scrum Master skill is negotiation. So typically, people think about negotiation in a negative way where there's a winner and a loser. Maybe this used to be true, but in modern negotiation, we typically want to aim for a win-win outcome. You can learn many skills to help you do this, like from William Urey's work at the Harvard Negotiation Center, in which he talks about skills like going to the balcony or building them a golden bridge, and educate. If you're a parent, you likely already do many of these things without knowing that you have these negotiation skills. Think teenagers or 3-year-olds. Let's move on to the next skill, facilitating flow. Flow is a magic word in Agile, specifically the flow of value from concept to customer. It's your job to facilitate that flow. That means the flow of value through product design, like working with experienced designers, software developers, QA engineers, all the way to deployment folks. Own the flow, love the flow. Next comes lean thinking for waste reduction. Waste is another magic word in Agile. Specifically, it's about you helping people look for ways to reduce any and all forms of waste in the flow. That's what you're doing, by the way, when you ask the team in the daily stand-up if they have any blockers. You're looking for any potential waste that can be removed. The next skill is root cause analysis. The good news here is you probably already think this way. Let's say a bad thing happens. You ask your friends, why did that bad thing happen? What caused it? A sad example of this recently is that at the Independence Day parade in my town, there was a mass shooting by someone who was mentally ill. Fortunately, the police caught him and he's in jail. But me and my neighbors have been asking each other, how did this happen? How did he get a hold of a gun even though he couldn't qualify under the law? Why did his father sign off for him? Why did his father lie to the police and say those knives they found in their house were the father's and not the son's? So a root cause analysis is just you asking the why question over and over again. Sometimes it's called the 5 whys or a fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram. On a happier note, the next skill is systems thinking. A system is a collection of interrelated parts that share a common purpose. Is a basketball team a system? Yes. Is the human body a system? Yep. Is a traffic pattern a system? Probably. Is an ant colony a system? Yep. Is a Scrum team a system? Yes. Why? Because all of these are collections of interdependent parts that share a common purpose. As a Scrum Master, it's your job to understand what the systems are that you're working with and to help them work better together. Examples of typical systems you'll see in addition to your own Scrum team are a team of teams or other teams that your team needs to collaborate with, or the customer and the product and the company you work for. The next skill you likely have and need to have as a Scrum Master is focus. Yesterday, I was looking for a new book to read in my local library app, and I discovered a book called Dopamine Nation. I thought, wow, what a powerful description of how we're all addicted to our iPhones and other things like TV, smoking, caffeine, etc. Your job as a Scrum Master is to cultivate your own ability to focus and that of your team. But why is that so important? Because in the last 100 years of Lean, which led to Agile, we have actual statistics that lack of focus and context switching reduce productivity, in many cases by more than 75%. Dependency management is the next core skill you need as a Scrum Master. No matter how much they try, your team typically will have dependencies on other teams and other situations. That means they're going to need inputs from those other teams, or that they'll be required to give inputs to those other teams. So don't live in a bubble and don't let your team live in a bubble. Look around at what other people need from you and your team and what you need from them and manage those proactively. You can make a picture of them and show them in a highly visible information radiator like an Agile program board. Next, you may be surprised to learn that you need teaching skills. Why? Because as a Scrum Master, it's actually your job to be an expert in Scrum and Agile and to be constantly teaching others. Which others? Your team, your product owner, your customers, your stakeholders, and in particular, middle management and senior management, because often they're also new to Agile and they need to know how to do Agile in their roles. Your next set of skills is communication skills. This should go without being said. No joke intended, bad joke there. In particular, as a Scrum Master, having communication skills helps you do what many other people cannot do. Translate between the technical team and non-technical stakeholders, from the product owner to customers. And last but not least is the skill of mindfulness. This is nothing religious. It's simply the ability to calm the monkey mind in your brain enough to notice what's happening and empower teams to do something about it. It's like living in the moment and helping them be in the moment. So practice does help. In fact, Google developed a mindfulness practice and stress reduction program called Search Inside Yourself. It got so popular that they had a 7-year waiting list at one point. So the purpose of this sprint was to show you some very concrete ways to Scrumify your LinkedIn profile, specifically by giving you a list of Scrum Master skills that you likely already have. By now, you should be opening your laptop and adding these skills to your LinkedIn profile, and probably your resume if they're not on there. So get to it, Scrum Masters. Give yourself credit for the skills you already have, and then do yourself and recruiters a favor by adding them to your LinkedIn profile.